There's no such thing as grown-ups.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know.
Sibilance.
Ground control to Jennifer Connelly. I hear you have some quite big breasts. Because there's no such thing as grown-ups. No such thing as grown-ups. .com. Hello, my name is Curtis.
12, 13, 14.
And that's Tara. Saying numbers at random. Or, I guess, in order.
That's the date.
The date is...
in order for the last time in your entire life.
Sequential for the last time. For the first time. Well,
I don't like it when people tell me things are going to happen for the last time in my life.
Well,
one time I saw Halley's Comet, and then I think I was like 8 maybe, or 13 or something. I don't know, 8. Let's say 8. And then I think my father said, like, the next time you see this, you'll be like 82 or something. How often does it come around? Every
I have no idea.
76 years or 80.
I'm always amazed. There's
88 years.
The vast amount of dumb things that I know, which is quite vast.
Okay, I think he was
dumb.
like, yeah, because then he'll be like, you'll be 96 or something. And
I don't know any of those, yeah.
But it's like, I'll probably be dead.
You never know.
So that was the last time. And I didn't really kind of pay attention a lot. I remember seeing it. My dad made a big deal out of it.
Back in those days, there was only like 2 or 3 channels. Not a lot of stuff. Yeah, you didn't have a world-encompassing information coming at you at all times. I find it actually super interesting. Like, I called my mom there today, but she wasn't home. But even if I don't talk to my mom...
So it doesn't count. Does it count? Did you leave a message?
I left a message.
Counts.
But as far as, like, energy-wise, it still counts in my head and body because... even if I don't have a conversation with somebody, I still end up thinking about the things that we may or may not have talked about.
You have a mental conversation.
So I have a little, mental conversation. So I'm still like, I don't even have to be around people to still be exhausted.
You're like pre-planning what you're going to say beforehand?
No, well...
building enough material.
With certain people, you do know that, there is like, oh, if I go into a store, it's going to be the weather. I have to take note of what the weather is because they're either going to ask me what it is or tell me what it's going to be later. I'm going to talk about the weather. If I call my mom, there's going to be whoever's sick. There's going to be whoever's going home, whoever's leaving to go somewhere else, et cetera, and whatever. The guy at work, it's going to be the craziest thing he saw on the news the night before. So you can, already kind of prepare for these situations. But a lot of the times, what usually comes up with my mom is... and it's just that, like, I have to still quickly go through in my head. Like, it's going to come up and I just say, hey, yeah, like, I don't watch the news. Like, I just try not to soak myself in sad things all the time because just opening Facebook, just opening the internet, just going to work, talking to people, you're going to hear bad things. So purposely going to the local newspaper to read the saddest things about people I don't know, it's just not something I do. Or go and watch the evening news. I feel like... whether it's close and small or big and crazy, like, oh, Afghanistan is blowing up some other place or whatever, like, that's crazy. Oh, my God, another teen was, like, raped and left dead in the bushes, in your town. Like, both of those things are giant and huge enough to keep me on my toes. Like, I'm already spending my time, worrying about survival and staying alive and,
We had to survive the other day.
And yeah,
our power went out.
It already comes up.
When our power goes out because we have a well, it also means we have no water.
Yeah. So Tara started storing water in the basement, and good.
You can too.
Yeah. If your water shuts down, you should probably store some. Definitely for sure. When there's no power.
Also, you never know though if the city water could shut down or just become infected.
Mm-hmm.
Like this isn't like crazy apocalypse scenarios, just like regular everyday infections.
Happens.
A lot of times here in the summer, the water will just become
stagnant.
Yeah, it'll have
whatever, there's little parasites and stuff
parasites in it. So
and-
then there'll
and
be like
microbes.
Yeah, so then it's like you have to have a boil order on, and you can't use the water, the city water.
Mm-hmm.
We can use our water.
Yeah, you can only chlorinate stuff so much. Then stuff, just again, like Jurassic Park, life finds a way and overcomes. And that's why I maintain my fear all the time. But yeah.
So it's good to save water, and I just learned the reason I started doing it because I read that you could just take your empty pop bottles or like plastic bottles, and I always feel bad, like even though I'm recycling them, I still feel like fuck, like that's a
Yeah.
lot of things,
especially,
and I don't even know if recycling really
yeah,
exists.
every
or
time we
I don't know,
recycle,
God.
I have to yell at you and go, I can't even believe I'm doing this. They just bought another truck to take it to the dump. Somebody told us that. I mean, yes, they're trying to get a recycling program going.
and we're too lazy
and
to
you
go
have to do
find out.
And I mean, I don't
Drive
really,
up to Bathurst and see.
I don't want to. Again, just like that, it's like there's already so much stuff out there to already feel bad about that it's like I'm not going to go looking for more. And I already just like.
So we just try to like reduce our
Yeah.
garbage.
So just try to be like, I'm not even being like, we're minimalists and we only, like whatever, like whenever you see a special on TLC about crazies that do crazy stuff, we're not crazy. We're just trying to be extra reasonable, like super medium.
Only people that will think we are crazy are people trying to pretend that they're adults anyway, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's just the
Not
ones
our
that,
listeners.
that are like, oh, well, why would you ever do blank? Like, what do you mean? Like one of them, like, why would you ever not put up Christmas lights at Christmas time? Like, I don't know. It just seems like a super waste, and I feel like it's dangerous. These are super cheap lights, super cheap wiring, wrapped around a dry old tree or just pieces of your house, ready to burst into flames. And I know it's just like, you're going a little too far, but am I?
Flames
Like,
for Jesus, flames for Jesus.
Every Christmas
flames
there's a
for
house
Jesus,
fire
flames,
somewhere.
Flames for Jesus.
And we don't have to set up the Flames for Jesus campaign. Even just that, like, I drove by a church, and there's a big, like, sign out front, and I think
What
it
about
was
the fake flames? You don't. What do you,
fake flames, I'm sure, aren't that bad. It's still just like, but just running electricity for the sake of running electricity. It's not, we don't need the light. There's usually already so many lights within a neighborhood that you can't even enjoy the Christmas lights anyway. It's too bright. We didn't used to have
are you
that many
enjoying
lights.
the Christmas lights?
When I was a kid, I
What are
really
you enjoying
did.
about it?
And I just also everybody's Christmas lights like kind of suck. There's like, even we were out tonight, maybe 2 out of all of the houses that are like, that's not bad. That's like festive and lighty and fun and just bright and just something that it is like, oh, it's nice to see within the darkness this light up little oasis. I don't know. But so many others are just like, oh, cool, you bought that thing that specifically goes around like a specific kind of bush, but you don't have that kind of bush, and you use it anyway, and it looks like you stole somebody else's lights, or somebody else's
Well,
lights
one
blew off
person's
their yard
house
onto
had
yours.
just that netting lights, but just covering the whole entire house.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that was about. And other
And-
people, they had just like a fucking light show going on or something. It was like projector on their house of like just a light show like you would see at an amusement park or something, I
Yeah,
guess.
and I don't know, like, I don't know what's too much and what's too little. Like, again, if I think I say this every year, if you were really into it and you're enjoying it and you do this and this is like your thrill of the year, then maybe you need to learn how to enjoy the rest of the year. Get a podcast, but if you enjoy it, then that's great. But if you don't, if you are one of these people that is clearly like, just posting on Facebook all day long, blah, these lights, blah, well, whatever, but it's for the kids, or it's for Christmas, or it's for whatever.
It's for the kids.
That church had a big placard that said, light up for Jesus, and it had like a picture of like,
Nice.
like the top of a tree.
Light up like a cigarette?
I think so. I think it was an ad for cool, I can't remember any of those Camel flavors at Christmas time. But no, it was like, but it was like the top of a Christmas tree with like lights on it, and I think it's just like that is literally like on the lawn of the house that's like built to worship Jesus. is a sign that says, "For Jesus, go kill a tree," that like his dad made and stuff, who was also him apparently, and the ghost. The three of them work together
You don't know that for sure.
to grow these trees all over the place. Could you go chop them down, eat them, and make some? No. Just bring them into your house, wrap them with some cheap old wire, and then hopefully they don't set your house on fire.
Doesn't make sense.
For Jesus. For Jesus.
At
So
the very
so-
least, get those trees that
The
are
church.
in the potted plants or something that can be reused.
Yeah, other than, that one weird business that rents out trees that give you a chance to take care of a tree for a week or whatever, like, yeah, do that if you really want to do that. Anything beyond that, we're watching the Extreme Cheapskates again, and these people are just breaking me, but this was a special Christmas episode, and since we're on trees, I'll talk about the tree part first anyway. This one lady, they lived in, like, I want to say Arizona, somewhere very arid and hot and American. And she was, like, still very, like, I'm having a good old-fashioned American Christmas. You know what that means? That means you get to do whatever you want because you don't live in England. That's the whole point of America, was, like, you created your own thing, but then you just started doing the same thing again and again. Anyway, being different's wrong, even if it's what you created a whole country for. But she went to the tree lot, and she's like, well, here's the thing. Like, to get a good tree, normally for normal people, in quotes, it's like $50. And yeah, like, I've seen it. It's like, even here, where I feel like we can just go into the woods and get a tree, right? Except it's illegal or whatever. But yeah, it is like 50 to
Except
$80.
it's far.
It's fair. But yeah, it's like anywhere from, like, I couldn't believe the last time we did get a real tree, it was like, this is crazy expensive. Trees are kind of for free, and they're free to just look at all the time. We should just leave them as is. This is insane.
We never got a tree.
We did a long, long time ago.
We did?
Yeah, we've gotten like
When did we get
two real trees in the first house. Remember, needles everywhere forever.
Oh, right.
Forever. They
That's
just
right.
never went away. Like sparkles or sprinkles, whatever those glitter, just never went away. Like years later, like remember that one time we got a Christmas tree, found another. We didn't even have carpet. Where was it hiding? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, too expensive. So she says normal people are spending about $50 to buy a Christmas tree, but because they live somewhere where you can't possibly grow a pine tree, it's like $250 to import your dead trees. Not a tree for you to grow and take care of and feel good about, just a dead tree that's going to die fast under a pile of hot wires. It's traveled. It's had its journey. You can tell your kids a little story you can get in the children's book aisle about the journey of the tree, so it can fulfill its destiny to make you happy and give presents to whatever kids and fleas. So like $250, like that's crazy town. Again, this is for a dead tree. A live tree is pretty expensive. Like I've yet to buy. You know, we got a few trees in the backyard that we got growing, and they were like on sale for $15 to $20, and even that was like, that's a lot of money to spend on something that already grows in the backyard. It just doesn't grow fruit on it like I want, so I got some apple and pear trees and partridge trees, and
You need to grow some partridges.
and whatever, there were still there were still some trees there that were like, ooh, like some real nice big apple trees, and some other just like trees. They're like, these are gonna just grow huge and be awesome. Like I could hang a hammock from in like a matter of years because it's already so big. But this is like $120. Or again, these are some nice looking apples, or that will be on this tree, or it's already grown so much that we'll have apples next year. I'm not spending $120 again on something that normally grows. Like if we walk far enough into the woods, we will find apple trees that already just kind of grow naturally. But whatever, $250 for a dead tree.
That's ridiculous.
The Christmas tree thing is just
So instead,
too
she
crazy.
just took a pre-drilled post.
Again, my only problem
Like,
with,
here's the Christmas post.
with most people's cleverness is they're just not very good at things. It was a great idea. She just got an old tree
trunk
and mounted it in the most ugly way possible. Still just get a Christmas tree holder or something. Like, just be nice about it. Make things look nice. You can do things cheaply and amazingly. And then she goes to the Christmas tree lot, picks up all of the things. The guy's worked there forever, so I don't know how he doesn't recognize her as the lady who does this every year. She has a stump. Gets branches, takes them home, feeds them into the very few holes she has drilled for herself to put the branches in. If she had like a ton of holes, the amount of branches she got, I'm like, oh my God, she's going to make an awesome tree. Like, how could she? Honestly, it will accidentally be amazing, even if she's the worst. But I'm pretty sure she's putting a lot of time and effort into this. She's got a stump she reuses. Of course, it's going to be great. It was worse than a Charlie Brown's tree.
Oh.
It was so bad. I was so sad, but she still had branches left over, and I'm like, did they maybe take branches out so it looks worse for the show? Do they want her to look more crazy? Because I was kind of starting to pull for her.
I love the other people, too.
Was she the same lady or one of the other people that...
She was the same lady that...
Cotton balls?
The cotton balls.
So we need to make snow for Christmas, right? No. No, you don't. Sit down, lady. Sit down. My name is Curtis. No, you don't need to make snow. So we need to make snow. So what I do all year round...
What are you going to do for your snow? How are you going to make your snow?
I'm going to take...
Just can't afford it.
I mean, I can afford it. I actually make some decent money. But anyway, I'm weird, and I need snow for Christmas.
Someone offered to buy them a tree because they were collecting these branches
Which is
and stuff.
even
that they're
more
like,
crazy.
they're like, no, that's fine.
Oh, God, you're not going to have a $250 Christmas tree in your house for Christmas? Let me buy you one. Why does anybody have a Christmas tree in this part of the world? Have any kind of tree. What kind of Christmas tree do you think Jesus had? None. He had a barn. You just need some gold.
Also,
some
like,
myrrh.
by the extreme cheapskates
Snort a couple lines of
fucking
myrrh.
math and logic. Like, they're like, she's like, I saved
I saved $250
by having this tree. But it's like,
It's
no.
not your power bill. You didn't find out a way to get extra $250 worth of power or water or something that you actually use or groceries. It was literally like
by that logic, sitting here, we're saving $1 million because I didn't go and buy $1 million plane.
one day, James and I had what I thought was one of the greatest days two guys could have looking at crazy, expensive, fancy RVs that like celebrities would use. And, like,
Right.
just I don't even know why. It's like that same thing you talk about or whatever. Like, it'd be awesome just kind of live on the road in an RV, park wherever, plug into the facilities. And I'm like, yeah, maybe like if it was really nice. Like I've seen some that have quite a bit of room and feel like pretty homey or whatever. But some it's just like I couldn't live in like a little trailer, like a back of a van with a bed kind of thing. That's just no. So we ended up looking at these things that were just like unbelievable, like beyond like and again they're $1 million RVs, recreational vehicles, but like they folded out on the sides, like every room
They're
became
like Transformers.
they were they had definitely more square footage than the house we are in right now. This is a full blown freestanding house that we own. And if it was on wheels and cost $1 million, it would be more. And yeah, everything transforms into flat screen TVs.
Fucking
and
hope
bars.
so. Holy.
Everything about them are unbelievable. I don't have one of those. I'm saving $1 million. You're listening
Whoa.
to Money Sense.
Cha-ching.
No such thing as going into debt. Show.
Stay at home. Save yourself $1 million.
Oh my God! Like
I just
I
saved
am-
myself another $1 million.
One of the things, and maybe
Because I would have bought another one of those RV things that
Well,
you were
once you
talking about once
have
I heard
one,
about it.
There's going to be problems, so you got to have another one around for parts. So there's nothing else you can do. But after working from home for so very long, even though Tara was still taking the car to work, I still felt like I'm not going to work. And the days she doesn't go, like money saved. And now the fact that what I resent most about work is the fact that I have to spend money on getting to and from that place. Like, I feel like I should charge you so much money for the amount of time, and just like I have to get washed, put on different pairs of clothes, not just my pajamas.
It is
Like,
ridiculous.
It's a lot of extra stuff that goes into my day just because I'm going to a room with a bunch of weirdos that are
Well, I
doing the
read
same
an
stuff.
article just basically about that. Do we have time to talk about it? That that the 40-hour work week is what is ruining society because it just doesn't make any sense. You're going to spend all that extra time exactly like showering and like actually physically getting to work. A lot of people like have to commute. You drive like 25 minutes to work and back. So it's like you're almost like an hour a day that you're spending plus the showering time plus whatever if is traffic. Like not that there's traffic around here, but
and in
sometimes
in the time is money scale of things, like when I don't do that, I exercise and do yoga instead of that 25-minute drive. And like I get up earlier, I do prepare for the day by being a good person, that I make juice and whatever. But if I have to physically drive, then it's like, oh, now I have to wake up, know that I have to get in a car for a little while. And again, it's like I'm going to have to get a shower. It's cold in the morning. I don't like that moment between, oh, shit, I forgot what season what it was. It's so nice and hot in the shower. But now I realize once I open this door again, I'm back in Winterland. And the acclimation has to happen. I have to go from being a comfortable hot to icy cold.
You end up taking this 40-hour work week, and then so that, what have we added? Like 5 hours of drive time plus an added 4 hours at least probably of getting ready time.
Yeah, prep time. Making lunches. If I make a lunch,
plus then you're supposed to sleep like for 8 hours a night. And it really just, these 2 days off, like it doesn't leave you with also like any time to actually have a life. So the other thing is that people try to like just get through these 40 hours of their job. And it's just like, I'm just going to just do it. I hate it and blah, blah, blah. And then try to live their lives in these 2 days.
Well, so
and it's like, that's only 2/7 of your fucking life that you're living.
You see people on a Monday, and a lot of people are just destroyed on a Monday. Destroyed. Like when we used to work
trying
nights.
To like live your life and not actually getting any relaxing
people used to think I was
moments.
A crazy person. Yeah, when we worked nights there, because it was like all weekend long, you pretty much just sleep. But it's like, yeah, after the amount of energy I put into work, going to and from work again, like then it was like walk to the ferry or the bus, take the bus, and then walk home in the middle of the night for an hour. Like I had like an hour and a half walk. Winter, summer, didn't matter how nice or how bad it was. If it was really bad, I'd just stay at work until the buses started running again, which is like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I mean, so yeah, like once a weekend came, it was like, I am just going to lay here. I'm just not going to do anything. Maybe I'll get up and eat something. And then I might go for a walk, but I'm probably going to end up back in bed. Like, I don't want to go on an adventure with 5 people and have a weird meal and then end up doing other things where it's like, well, now we're at somebody else's house and it's a party. Oh, good. Like, now not only am I already uncomfortable with other people's bathrooms, but I know that a bunch of other strangers are using this bathroom and nobody seems to care about not pissing on seats at a party. Nobody
That's
cares.
What it all comes down to.
It all comes down to, do I have food? Can I eat? Is there a place to piss that I'd feel comfortable pulling out my sensitive areas? I don't want germs and hepatitis getting all over them.
We kind of did a weird thing, or I thought it was weird, and now I maybe am comparing all of my other jobs to that, but like working in the animation industry, I just felt like because of that, when I started anyways, was working nights, this night shift. Mm-hmm. So like 5 at night till 2 in the morning. And then we'd like sleep all day.
Yeah.
Because you'd stay up, like you'd get home at 2 or whatever, or sometimes 4 because you'd have to work late.
Yeah.
And then you drink or whatever it is that you would normally do after 5, like go for a drink. We'd go to the casino, which was because it was open 24 hours. And, you know, whatever. Sometimes we drink right until the next morning and then see our boss going to work.
Yeah. And then go to bed.
Now, what had to happen for me was that studio just became my life. Yeah, so, like, all my friends were there. The things that I talked about were with the people that were there. Anytime that was like, hey, we're going to go to the movies or we're going to go have a party or whatever, it was with the people there. Or actually physically there. We'd have a party at the studio or whatever. And
you usually end up with, and I don't know, a lot
other
of
people
don't
just
even
never
notice.
understood. Like our friend Tim, his friends they just didn't understand. Like,
Yeah.
why do you have to work so much?
It's
Why?
like you have to have a work wife, work husband, work family. Like it just happens. Like not like you have to go pick them and do it. It just happens. There's somebody at work that whatever treats you like something and you treat them like something, and it's it doesn't go into anything where it's like like we're gonna get married or whatever. It just means
It's just a mental,
like we're now connected
your mental family.
at this place. Like I need you to do the work and you need to do the work for me, whatever it is, and we have to talk about it all the time. And you also have to talk about other things or else you'll go crazy. So then you'll just tell me about like, oh, so the weather is like this. Oh, so this other thing happened. And it's just like, I am actually kind of okay with just putting on my headphones and sitting here and just doing my work in silence, getting done super early and then disappearing. But most normal people need to have their family life all the time. I mean, I don't know,
Well, in that situation, it wasn't that we needed it all the time. It was like there was no other time.
Yeah.
Like there
like,
was no
that's
other
it.
time. This was it. This is it. We're working here so much, and then that's it. Otherwise, sleeping. This is life.
Yeah.
And I think it's weird. Like for other jobs, when they always are telling everybody to, or you're just not allowed to be like close, I guess, or have a closeness to people at work, or you just don't because they're just these people that you work with, and you didn't choose to fucking work with these idiots, right?
Yeah.
Like whoever they might be, like they're just people that have been forced upon you, and you've
I
been
feel
forced
like,
upon them.
every animation
So, like-
studio I've worked at, it is that. Like not like a normal job where it's like I just work with these other people. Who are they? I don't know. They do a job, I do a different job, but all the studios is always just that. Yeah, it's like you're here. We're going to be here a long time. We're just going to have these big meetings where everybody just has to say their opinions at each other about everything, and that's it. So it is just like it's a family now, whether you like it or not. Like you can't, and even just that, I mean, it's years and years later, and it's still just like, oh, you weren't at like so and so's wedding, like,
This is our fucking family.
yeah. It was like, why weren't you there? Like, remember how when I was there, I tried my hardest to just leave. At
We
every
get invited
party
to a lot of
scenario?
weddings too. That like, well,
Yeah,
why? You
even
know?
some people were just like, I don't know,
But
know
we
you.
were family.
Yeah, it's like, well, you were kind of like one of the dads or whatever, and it's just like some of us looked up to you, even though you didn't
It's a
know.
very
we exist-
weird family
very
with
weird
a lot
family.
of dads,
a lot of
not
or
many moms,
matriarchs, not many moms, and I mean, it all depends.
many high schools.
weird cousins and uncles, but yeah, like I mean, the day I left, like
Oh, a lot
one
of
person
weird
came up to
uncles.
me and just like, I just want to shake
Some
your
that
hand,
didn't
like it's
shower.
been great, and I'm literally like, is this the first time I've met you? And he's like, yeah, like you don't know who I am, but like, and I'm always in the other studio, but I hear a lot of good things. Like, this is insane. Like, I can't wait to leave here now because of just how insane this one moment is. I am not a celebrity. I just
You're
work in
kind
this
of a
place.
celebrity because you're like the original family.
And exactly, yeah. So it is like, oh, well, these three guys, they've been here. Like, they've basically created this place out of what they
You were like the
they think TV.
grandfathers.
Yeah, so
I would be
like,
like,
it's like, well, without you,
grandfather,
I wouldn't have this job.
tell us what was it like back in the old days?
It was just like this, except with just 4 of us. And then we got some more money.
Whoa,
and then we
that's
added more people.
weird.
And it just kept going. And now I got to get out of here because there's too many people. I don't know you.
I remember as a student going to Kaleidoscope, and we went to the Halifax Animation Festival or something, and then got to have a tour. And Sean Scott was drawing on a Wacom tablet. It was the first time we ever seen that, and it was just like, what the hell? It was just like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, he's just drawing on this tablet and it's drawing on the screen. Like, that's no.
Yeah.
And we were just like, no, never going to do that. Like, that's crazy. Why would you do that? Like, no, I need a piece of paper. And even when I first got, like, first we're drawing on the Wacom
Yeah.
tablets, we put a piece of paper down so you could have a feel of paper. But
All I wanted was
then we, like, wrecked our
kind of
nibs.
to not use paper. Like, I
You
felt
just wanted
like
to not use paper?
like even before I used the tablets, like I know like some kind of technology must exist, but it's probably not that great. And then we did have them at our school, so it's just like, but they were very small. Like they were still like the worst version, the first version, and this one big one that was like so slow and bad. But they were still pretty good with some programs where it's like, well, this is it. This is what I want. This is perfect. I just need it to be a little more faster, a little more dead on. And then once I started working, the combination of certain computers and certain programs and a certain tablet, it was just perfect. It was just like, this is better than paper. I can live in this world forever, not feel wasteful every time I just want to delete and start over or do whatever. And yeah, whereas once the studio started up, like once a bunch of people came in, yeah, so many people like, so we can just do it on paper first, right? Then scan it in. Like, where's the scanner? No. We already spent the scanner money on the thing that lets you draw right into the computer. Hold the pen. I don't get it. What do you mean? You want to do it on paper with a pen, right? Yep. Just do it, but instead of looking down, look up. That's all I want you to change. That doesn't make sense. Well, the images you see are up instead of down on the paper. I know it'll take literally like 3 days for your brain and hand to acclimate to this. I promise you it will. And if it doesn't, you can't work here. And I would say that to a lot of people. And they'd be like, whoa, well, what if... No. I'm not threatening you. I know that you will be fine. You'll get it. It's super easy. Like little
What if
kids do it
somebody
all the time.
couldn't? What if they just couldn't?
And she eventually went away. But
true.
most people just could get it. Like they were amazed that it was so easy, and it is like, you know. And I see people working
Paper
on the ones
pencil.
where you
There's
look
got
at.
to be a better
There
way.
has to be, especially when we can waste
Plug
so
this in
much.
here, download this, put the driver in, get that going, key this up, download software. $600 later,
You're having a great time.
and bam! I can't draw. My eye doesn't work with my hand.
Yeah.
Oh, garbage.
And it is. It's a confusing and scary thing to ask somebody to do. Could you draw without looking at where you're drawing? And some people think it's like a fun challenge, and other people think like I honestly like again like maybe I'm just a weird kid.
You are looking at where you're drawing.
But
Psych.
so yeah, exactly. Like when I was a kid, it was like I honestly sat there thinking I wish there was a way where I could draw without my hand being there. Like I wish I could look somewhere else and draw.
That's what I don't like about the new Cintiqs, because what's the point?
Yeah, now my hand's back in the way.
Now it's like you're like two things away, like your hand is over top of it. Plus there's a plate, like
Yeah,
it
plus
feels
there's like a half inch of plexiglass
glass
between
that's
you
in
and your
between
drawing.
you and the drawing. Like,
yeah.
I don't
It
know.
looks like every time I see somebody draw on
just
it,
the old people though.
yeah, it makes me feel super old because I'm like, this is cool for
For
you.
the us to the paper people.
Like, wouldn't you rather the virtual world where, yeah, your hand is not in the way while you're drawing? Like, don't you just want to draw with your mind?
You know what that thing is? It's called a Sandy.
A Sandy?
It's Sandy machine. It's SAN or DEDEE something.
Mm-hmm.
But I played with it at the animation festival, and it's
where you
like
draw in the
drawing
air?
in 3 dimensions, like
No,
in the
that's
air.
not what I want.
And you
No.
have like a remote in your hand.
Yeah.
And where you put your hand is where the drawing happens. In 3 dimensions, like front, you can move around, you can move your hand around.
Maybe that is what I want. Mostly, I like having the ability to like lean on something as well, like to put
And
my
then
hand
you can
on
animate
the,
with
on
it
the
as well
tablet.
too. That's the thing. That's the part that's crazy to me.
I don't know. Everything new is scary. It's how
I didn't see anything good with it, but
yeah. It's still
stuff that looks like you're drawing, like
yeah, that kind
as
of
if
thing.
your hand is up in the air. And
We'll have
just
to
looks
take
like
some people who
crazy.
are willing to like drop everything and make that their main job, their mandate in life is I'm going to do something cool with this thing. And the little kids who are like, "What's this?" Oh yeah, so the first thing I did in life is use a tablet, or I used the 3-dimensional touching machine, and I'm just making whatever in here, and I'm amazing. But we'll be right back.
I love spending my time alone with Swanee and the Quad Father.
Hey, well, no such thing as grown-ups, people. This is the Quadcast here, and I am the Quad Father here with my co-host Swanee.
What up, boss?
Hey, and we know if you love No Such Thing as Grown-ups like we do, then you're going to love the Quadcast. And you can find us on Stitcher and iTunes and YouTube. Just search
Fly
Quadcast.
Fisherman's Journal.
No, we are not in Fly Fisherman's Journal. We don't do anything about fly fishing. At least if you start to talk about fly fishing, I try to change the topic. How would you describe our show, Swanee?
We're a couple guys that just, for years, we sent tapes back and forth, and then with technology, we've now started a podcast. We've been doing this for about 25 years, and now we're sharing it with the world.
And the reception is amazing. So we know you'll like it. So come find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. And if you love No Such Thing as Grown-Ups like we do, you're going to love us.
Subscribe. Never miss a moment with the Quadfather. I don't.
Christmas is coming. Winter is
So-
here. And so
That winter was
Buttons.
coming.
Winter already came
God
all
damn it.
over everything. But yeah, you know that song? So this is Christmas.
And look what you've done.
Exactly. Isn't that like a kind of a sarcastic Christmas
the
song?
rich and the poor ones?
Yeah,
Something just begun.
exactly. Like even though
Merry Berry Christmas.
Don't you
Something
even-
about berries.
don't
I
you
know.
care? So this is Christmas. This is what you've done with your with your year. Are you happy
Yeah,
with yourself?
I gave money to Christian Children's Fund.
All right. I guess it can be a happy reminder then. I feel like it's meant as more of a you guys are ruining Christmas type of song, but we totally play it as, oh, that nice wholesome Christmas song. I'm pretty sure he's calling us all dickheads for Christmas. So you're
He
a dickhead
is.
for Christmas, and you're being
You should get
a
him.
twat.
Riot in the streets.
Well, you're going to riot. No, people are already rioting in the streets. Riot less.
Riot more because of this new knowledge, though.
No,
they didn't even know about
especially
this before they were
that-
rioting.
Yeah, no, rioting is like it's going too far in the other direction. You got to find something. Build things up.
Is it, though?
Everything
Everything is upside down. Might as well riot.
But yeah, I don't know. It plays like Santa Baby, So This Is Christmas, and then like Chipmunks Christmas. Nobody cares. All these Christmas songs. Nobody cares that some of them are awful. Awful, awful.
As long as it's about Christmas. That's what Christmas is about.
I think so. I think those are the only ones.
Christmas is about itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the true meaning
It has
of
nothing
Christmas.
to do if it's good or bad.
Yeah, as long as we're really
Naughty or
focusing
nice.
on the Christmassy
Just is
part
it
of
Christmas?
It's just being Christmassy. Christmassy.
Is it green and red?
Yes. You're making a lot of sense to me. Because, yeah, a lot
'Cause
of the
that's
other stuff,
Christmas.
all of the ones like, I'll have a blue, blue, blue Christmas. I'll be sad for Christmas. I'll miss you. Hey.
Christmas.
it's-
They all talk about Christmas.
Like those ones are just about like still yourself or how people feel at Christmas, and unless it's happy, don't bring it up. That's supposed to be the whole thing.
Many
of Christmas
people feel
is-
sad at Christmas, though.
They
It's the
do.
worst time of the year.
It is. I
So this is Christmas.
think part of it is that we just play the good and the bad songs. Everything it all just gets mixed together, and you have to be pretty on top of things to not get brought down by them. I mean,
You just opt out.
Christmas is a lot of things. Like
Also, I think if you do like on the extreme cheapskates, just have your Christmas like 3 days later.
Mm-hmm.
Not even the day, not even the next day. Come on, that's what I'd be going for.
well, we already
3 days later.
what's great about that and what's amazing is
Gives you
that
some time to prepare.
that
you know,
everybody already does. Like within the last, I want to say 3 years, it's kind of mandatory now. The malls, everything. It's not just the weirdos who are like, I'm going to go get some sales after Christmas. Everybody has Christmas, big Christmas. We got the new stuff. We did whatever we could to get it. And you know what? There's going to be some great deals after Christmas. I'm going to do both. Could you afford either? Not really, but I'm going to do both. And I mean, people just keep doing this for years and years, like at least the last
double
few years.
Christmas.
And now, it's gotten to a point where I feel like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, second Christmas, summer vacation, like whatever, a lot of people just have a lot of things. Like I find myself thinking more than just 2 or 3 times a year, Easter, whatever. So many of those things where my mind just swims with, is everybody rich? I don't see how you did this again. Like, we just did this a month ago. I can't afford to get to this thing just to watch you swim around in presents and gifts or whatever. But yet you're doing it again with all this stuff and a $120 cake and a whatever thing that people get for parties. Those are some crazy expensive lights. Like, you rented them? Whoa! Like, for what? For why? This is insane. Certainly you'll die.
Oh my!
Of poorness. Or you're just rich, or everybody is really rich, and I'm looking at the world from what I think is a well-off version of a poor person. I guess it's like, I've got a house, and I can pay my bills. There's food in the fridge. The heat is on, except when the power goes out. And on the way home before the big storm, I picked up a kerosene heater, so we still had heat. So no big deal. Like I said, I think I mentioned this before. I'm pretty sure we can get the car out of the garage without power. Hopefully there's some sort of manual release that lets us just pull it up by hand. There's a handle. That has to be what it's for. And then, so yeah, we can still just drive to somewhere where there is power, as long as we can get the car out. Maybe I got to climb on top of the car. I don't know. But other than those circumstances, as compared to these people that are spending hundreds and thousands of dollars a month on 2-hour parties, if I'm poor, I'm the richest poor guy in the world. Like, I feel like everything's fine. Like, I don't need to spend. And how are you doing this? How are you doing this?
They're not.
And yeah, then I'm just afraid. Then I'm afraid. And yeah, again, like, oh hey, like, we started riding. Like, why? Well, I kind of got to the point where I realized all that money that I spent, all this stuff I have, I can't actually afford any of it.
Oh, that's what part of the 40-hour work week, because you work so much, you end up having those 2 days or whatever. Like, even though you're just like sleeping, most people try to fit their whole lives into those 2 days. So they end up like buying a lot of things as well, because you're like, well, I deserve it. I worked 40 hours this week. And so you end up buying more because you feel like you deserve it.
Yeah,
I deserve these things because I worked.
And then because
otherwise, why am I working?
So much time in, during that week,
so
you're too exhausted to do that thing. So you end up extra exhausted. Like, again, like right now, I'm still looking. It's still in the bag. I can see the instructions part peeking out. I know everything that's in there. There's a stop motion maquette guy in there that I got for my birthday that I still haven't put together because I'm like, it's gonna take me a while, and then I know I'm just gonna want to soak in it for like hours after it is done, and so I'm so afraid of the amount of time I will and enjoy spending on it that I'm afraid to start it, because I'm like, I'm sorry, the rest of the day I can't have anything else to do.
Oh no.
And again, like, since my job is really based on a lot of creativity, like, have a couple ideas. Okay, awesome. When you're done with that, could you just have a couple more ideas? Cool. And make sure you draw them and whatever. And, think about these other ideas. Like, okay. And so by the end of the week, it is just like, I can't. I'm out of ideas, like, whatever. And again, within that one little block on the shelf, there's a few other things, like a weird little melty beads thing, and I'm like, yeah, that'll be fun to try. It was at the dollar store. Why not? Let's make some weird 8-bit things. And
inspired by Amanda.
Yeah, because Amanda Hildeshme,
our puppet maker,
made us some puppets, and when we saw them for the comic convention thing, she was giving out these melty bead things she made. And I'm like, I want to make some too. And hey, turns out I don't have to buy 10,000 beads from the internet or wherever these people go to a craft store. Sometimes they'll give you like a bunch for $1 at the dollar store, maybe $2, because the dollar store seems to be a minimum of $2 now, unless you want some weird candy.
So the thing that you need to do about the 40-hour work week is fuck that. That's from the Industrial Revolution. Like, do we still want to be living our lives based on the Industrial Revolution? Come on, people. Get with the times.
We were in a race to beat other countries, and now we're kind of like, hey, why don't they invent this thing to make my life easier? Well, the they is going to be a different country every time. So what you want is other countries to be
or you can just do it
more
yourself.
Industrialized, or you can just invent things for yourself.
I think the more that people just stop doing that, the more that whoever, these people that are companies, are going to have to just, go with the flow.
Yep.
And I think what you need to do is do the reverse. So now if you're like working 5 days a week with 2 days off, I say you should work 2 days a week with 5 days off.
That's really kind of what I thought it would be when I started making games. I'm like, all right, cool. A lot of the stuff I can be like, do a lot of creativity in like 2 days and then have a bunch of the week to just mess around and have other ideas, still put it towards the video game company. But there you go. Like I did this, now somebody work on it. But in the small company world, it is like, all right, you had your idea, now do it. Okay, now put it all together, all the production stuff that goes with that after the fact. Like, okay, sound design, awesome. So really doing everything, plus running some other productions within the thing. But at this part is because it's like, I need to do this. I need to do whatever it is as a job. I need to do my own project for it as well. And ideally, we make enough money that it is like, all right, you guys go do this. I won't talk to you again until I want to tell you stuff is wrong. And then I'm going to make this thing over here, which I do, but I spend a lot more time on the other project, blah, 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 blah. It's exhausting. It's super exhausting. Like, that's a lot of time. And even just, some days I literally spend, like, just playing a game that we've made and trying to break it. And it breaks. And then making notes, taking screen captures, pointing things out, drawing over things. I'd like to look like this instead. And that's kind of heartbreaking as well, to spend a good chunk of your day playing what is basically a game for fun and just finding reasons to make other people's days longer and harder every time you play it. Oh, look, if I press the buttons like this, it doesn't work no more. Make that not happen, guys.
Oh, no.
We just made the whole game happen, is what I would expect them to say. Like, before there wasn't a game and now there is. Yeah, how about we put up a sign that says, don't press the buttons like this, because this is a complicated piece of machinery, basically. And it's like, no, they don't say that. They do it. They're like, okay, cool, we'll just fix that. We'll just invent a new thing that didn't exist 10 minutes ago. Like, that's nuts. And as we round at the end of the show, I'd like to, of course, plug my games. I make a lot of games personally, and they're not like what you've seen on the TV where it's like, hey, we're going to trick you into spending a pile of money. Because I'm not a programmer, so I don't know how to do that part. When I can, I will. I promise I will, and I'll tell you that I'm trying to get money out of you. But right now, I'm literally just making games because I think it's kind of fun, and they're free for you to play. Yeah, there's some ads that go by sometimes, but also because I'm not a programmer, stuff needs to be updated. So now a lot of the ads don't work, so you're kind of just getting a game. Congratulations. The Mellow Grove band Bones of Things is a new album by a Canadian pop rock band, Power Pop, I think it is. Anyway, music guys from Canada that Mike knows, like he went to college or whatever with them, who runs the company, and he was like, oh, well, the guys are like going out on tour with their new album. He's like, I drew these Nintendo sprites of them a long time ago for one of their posters or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like, it'd be cool to just throw together a game, over a couple days or a week. And he'd be like, would you want to do that? Like, if I sent them an email and said, we'll make a game of you, an old Nintendo style, would you want that? And they were like, yes, yes, yes. And they were so, I've never worked for somebody that was so excited for a project and also happy with everything. Their notes, they literally gave 2 notes of just I don't have a beard anymore. Okay, cool, no problem. Just the mustache it is. That is a completely reasonable note. And then they made music for me, so there's a full 8-bit version of the title track of the song. But what's even crazier about this is my boss is their friend. I make them a video game. And then I go on Facebook, and my cousin and his mom, my aunt, are like, blah, blah, blah. Hey, this is pretty nuts. Remember when you first started playing guitar in our living room to the guy who's the head of this band? What's happening over here? Why are you talking to the guy I just worked with? Oh, because that's my best friend from elementary school. We started a band that never went anywhere. That was mostly just a name and some ideas before he started real bands. And then, yeah, it's just well, we used to hang out when we were kids. So, when I was a little kid, he moved away and then started hanging out with this guy, I guess. And then at the same time, we made No Such Thing as Grown Ups comic book and poetry book that you can order from NoSuchThingAsGrownUps.com that aunt bought those books from our website, which you can easily do as well.
Christmas presents.
For birthday presents as well. You got
Oh
birthdays
my
coming
God,
up. So
birthdays,
something,
Christmas.
So he gets a bunch of
Noah fan.
books by me for his birthday. Then a video game is in the National Post, like for all of Canada, of them talking about the album. But then it's like, you guys got a video game? Like, oh yeah. Out of the blue, our friend asked us to do it. And then I did it. And I don't know. It was pretty exciting. Anyway, that's there. It's just like, it's fun. Old, I won't say 8-bit. It's kind of like 12.5-bit. Fun, based on their album. Anyway, there's also a game with Tara in a bikini, frightened about saving her cat, and one where I'm frightened, and you use Tara and our cat to save me from the zombies and the robots. All of that stuff at the website. Comment. I just switched over the Instagram from on my devices to the Instagram of No Such Thing as Grown Ups at
Wow.
Instagram or whatever that is. So,
Something.
Excuse me.
Internet.
internet.com / No Such Thing as Grown Ups. Hypertext, click.
Also, coming out is season 2 of the Andy and Andrew
I'm so-
Show.
If you, again, I've said this before, if you liked season 1 of the Andy and Andrew Show, it's kind of garbage compared to season 2. And I think it's funny. Like, I do think season 1 is pretty funny, but every single episode, I feel like I'm doing a completely different personality, and it's taken me a while to figure out who's Andy. And now I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to do me. I'm not good at characters for the amount of time that these things go on for. Season 2, oh man, like Tara is doing multiple characters always, and there is no cutting. Like,
Just challenging myself.
if you think like we're cutting at the camera and then she's going and changing fingers and doing all this stuff, no, this is like Spotless Mind, Jim Carrey movie. Like, it is one continuous shot,
All improv.
all improvised,
the time.
and somehow I don't even, like, when I'm watching, I'm like, I know I was there, but I have no idea how she's like, unless some of them are on opposite hands, but sometimes they're on the same hand. It's insane. And yeah, you can see the hands, so you can kind of do the math yourself sometimes. But sometimes they're anyway, there's carrying furniture, there's a Hannibal Lecter. All your favorite references are there. The cops get involved. Are they good cops or are
There's
they bad
murders
cops?
in this
There's
season.
murders.
So much drama.
There's a move to a new apartment. It's unbelievable. There's notes on the wall already for the next season, which I can't wait to do. Or maybe there were notes about this season.
No,
Either
they're
way,
for next season.
Next season.
'cause we left some things that are going to be.
some holes need to be filled. Some plots need to be tied up. But that always opens.
But there's
up
so much that happens.
So much.
You're
Just
gonna
like
be
the
surprised.
song says. Go to the iTunes store and subscribe
I guess it's going to be exclusively on Fundamental as well.
exclusively. And if you are one of these hot moms,
But you can still check it out on our YouTube.
send us an autograph picture. And go to our YouTube. We've got
And subscribe. It's new, but you don't want to miss out.
You know what my least favorite part of podcasts is? The never-ending list of things that they have for you to subscribe to, but still go subscribe to it. Yes, Andrew, what's
Andy!
up?
Oh my god! It's season 2 of our show!
Well, you can't just come out on and just be yelling that all the time. I
Why
mean,
not? I
It's just
can't
not
believe it.
professional. Just kind of go with the flow, relax.
Season 2!
The way to be like a real celebrity is to, you just bask in what people throw at you. Don't go begging for it or
I
fishing.
usually eat what people throw at me.
That is not healthy and not a good idea, and it's costing us
Make
a lot
it
of money.
into a sandwich.
And what now?
Make it into a sandwich.
If you, why?
You want me to make you a sandwich?
No. Why do you have bread on you to put
Bread.
All right. At the risk of getting sick, explain your sandwich.
Whatever people throw at me, then I put it all together, and
So
then
you just sandwich
I
something
eat it.
between and then in your mouth. I get it.
good.
I want to
It's
say
like an art project.
innovative, very artistic, but like I said,
Sometimes I don't eat it, and sometimes I pile it in different ways.
but every single time you usually have to get some sort of medication or surgery or pumping, and you don't usually have money. Stop costing me money. Exactly.
I make money from the art because I make all the art projects.
Yeah,
Remember?
but you're scared to death to present your art, so then it just ends up in my basement, and you don't take it out. And also, I
Why
think
do
you're living
artists have
under
to
your art
present their art?
because you
That's
need
stupid.
to get paid, so you don't live under your art pile in my basement. You don't live in my house. I moved out. You need to get
I
your own
don't
place.
live in your house.
You don't live in my house. All right. That may or may not be
This
the
is
gist
getting
of season
sad.
2, but season 3,
Season 3, I can't wait.
it's a hard thing to wait for.
It's gonna be so much fun.
But again, you gotta calm down if you wanna.
I just made a sandwich out of a tape deck, a pill bottle, and a hand puppet.
Yep. Don't eat that. Don't eat that.
I'm just gonna take a bite.
I was worried enough and disgusted when I just pictured people throwing foodstuffs at you and old garbage from garbage cans that was hopefully also still made of food but rotten that you shouldn't eat. You're eating
Then
things.
I have to take an Instagram of myself doing it.
Well, this explains a lot. The doctor has not been explaining to me that he's been. I guess he said surgeries. I don't know what I expected. But
And then I take a picture of the X-ray when they X-ray my stomach, and then I take a picture of the dish that they have all the stuff in after they pump my stomach.
yeah, that sounds great. I'm gonna have to start
It's
following
all
you
part of the art
on
project.
Instagram.
See?
Yeah, I thought it was just your art project. I'm realizing it's just a pile of evidence for me to understand where my money's going, and it's all on your Instagram. Like, that's good to know. I'm just gonna
It's all covered by
subscribe to you right now.
It's all covered by the Canadian Medicare system.
Not really. It's
I
kind of
just showed them
covered.
my Medicare card.
You do, but then a lot of this stuff is like specialized, and they bring people in, and it costs me a lot of money. I mean, they literally say, "Do you want to keep this guy alive?" Because I mean,
And you say,
I say yes. Obviously, I
Yes.
say yes. I know, but I really do. It takes me a long time to build up that yes, because you keep doing this so consistently. They show me a chart. They've got a chart with stickers.
a chart?
Yeah.
Can I have some of the stickers for my art project?
I almost said maybe next time, but
Yes! Season 3.
season 3,
Yes.
Andy's sandwiches, but
And stickers! I can't wait.
listen, I know you're hiding out in the base. Could you just leave? Just pretend you don't live here for a few hours. I'm just gonna take a nap. I don't want
I
you.
don't live here.
I know, and I would like it if you just actually didn't live here for a little while. And
Like an hour?
at least an hour. I just want to take a nap, and I don't want you letting anybody in to use the
Half an
bathroom.
hour?
A half hour.
It's cold outside.
It's no go somewhere. Do something. Go down to the art studio. Go down to the gallery. Go look around. Go get inspired. You don't have to talk to anybody. Just It's okay. Just you know what? Just do me a favor. Go sit on the step for 20 minutes, or just go for a little
In
jog.
the basement?
All right. You know what? Just go into the basement. Stay in the
All
basement.
right.
Just please don't come upstairs and let anybody in. All right. For an hour. Just give
You
me
mean like
an hour without a wacky.
from now on?
From right now, yes. I'm going to.
Because everybody's in the basement that I let in.
Of course.
Season 3.
Season
Season 2.
Watch season 2. Get geared up for season 3. The big party. The big party is coming. The party is coming.
Woohoo! Oh, that sounds scary.
Quiet down there. Stop making Jason Voorhees noises. I hate all of your friends. I'm pretty sure most of them are murderers. I'm still not sure you're not a murderer.
That's just their art form.
Their art form is making Jason Voorhees' coming noises. Always. Whenever I'm trying to just describe things. Sometimes.
Some people paint.
And some people think they're Michael Winslow with one noise.
Sometimes women use their vaginas for art.
Mm-hmm.
That's also different.
Everything's different. I'm neither for nor against. I'm going to go stand in front of this camera for 2.5 hours then. Just film myself staring at it.
That sounds interesting.
Don't roll your eyes at me. It does sound interesting.
All right, you have fun now.
Sybil Shepherd said it was interesting.
Well, have fun.
Kathleen Turner said it was interesting.
Don't know who he's talking about.
Barbara Streisand's friend said,
Well, you have a good time with that.
those my ideas are unvalid.
Goodbye now.
Musical intros and outros by Brad Sucks.